Okay, so in example number 2 here, we're going to find an inverse function. So we're going to find the inverse specifically of f of x equals 3x plus 2. We're going to graph the function and its inverse. So as it turns out, linear functions and some other functions, but especially linear functions, are really easy to find inverses of. Now the way that you do it is this is all you have to do. You take your y and your x in the equation and you flip them. You put them in the opposite spots. And then that's it, basically. Maybe a little bit more than that, but that's basically it. So let's see how that plays out. So we're going to rewrite the function as an equation relating x and y. So we're not going to write it as in function notation. We're going to go back to our y and x notation, and we're going to say y equals 3x plus 2. Then we're going to flip the x and the y. We're going to exchange them. So we're going to say in our inverse function, we don't think y is going to equal 3x plus 2. We think x is going to equal 3y plus 2. Okay, now we just solve for y. So we need to subtract 2 on both sides to get the y's by himself, and then we need to divide by both sides by 3 to get the y isolated. So there's no longer 3 of them, so there's just one y there. Okay, so if we do that, then we end up with x minus 2 over 3. Okay, we end up with x minus 2 over 3. Okay, so this is our inverse equation. If we want to write it in function notation again, then we can write just like this, our inverse function notation right there. We can say that x minus 2 over 3 is the inverse function, f inverse of x. Okay, now if we wanted to graph those two, well, our original one was, remind myself here, was 3x plus 2. Okay, so 3 is our slope. That's our m value in y equals mx plus b. So we have a slope of 3. We go over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3, over and over again. And we have a y-intercept of 2. So when x is 0, we start out at 2. Okay, on the inverse, we have x minus 2 over 3. You could split that into two fractions. You could say it's 1/3 x minus 2/3. So you start at negative 2/3, and you have a slope of 1/3. So you go up 1 over 3. Okay, and our two functions are mirror images over the line y equals x. Over that diagonal line from top right to bottom left, that's the mirror, and these are our mirror images. And that's really it. So that's all you have to do. You just have to switch the y and the x and then solve through, and you have your new function. Easy as can be. So we will move on from that to example number 3 next.